Hi, this is Ryan with Front End Audio, and thank you for checking out our featured software series.
Alright, now we're going to take a quick overview look at Softube's TSAR-1, or True Stereo Algorithmic Reverb Model 1. It is a reverb plugin, obviously. And just looking over the controls here, you have basically three sections of it. The top section, starting in the left, you have essentially your room type, whether it's going to be small, medium, or large. And next to that, you have your control to blend between early reflections and reverb tail, so you can really tailor, whether you're hearing just the tail of the reverb, if you're just kind of adding the early reflections to it, or if you're blending somewhere in between. Next to that, you have the diffusion, and basically the higher setting of the diffusion, the smoother the reverb's going to sound, but it is going to take up more space in the mix. So that is something to mess around with while you're tailoring your reverb sound. Next to that, you have your modulation, and basically your fast modulation is going to give you more of a chorusy effect. Slower modulation is going to give you less of that, and random is going to kind of bounce back and forth between the two. On the far right at the top, you have your output volume. This is going to adjust the overall output of the signal passing through the reverb. So if you need to back down to make sure that you're not clipping, or if you need to boost it up to get a little more output, you can use this control knob right here to do so, and you'll see how the values change. Right below that, you have your reverb mix. It is going to be your dry to wet ratio, whether you're going to have unaffected, completely wet, or anywhere in between. Now, on the first part of this visual display, you'll see that the top line actually correlates with the parameters at the top. Now, if I switch from small to medium room, you'll see that the parameter changed, but you'll also see that it showed that the previous setting was small. Same with the mix, diffusion, modulation, and so forth. At the very bottom, you have your faders, and the bottom row of the display module will basically show you the changes in the settings. Your first fader is the pre-delay, and this is going to be in milliseconds of whether the reverb kicks in immediately or up to 1,000 milliseconds after the initial signal passes. Next to that is your time. This is, of course, the total length of the reverb tail decay. So you can have it from 0.15 seconds all the way up to 15 seconds, so a nice, really big open reverb. Next to that, you have your density. Density is essentially the size of the room, more tailoring it. The higher the density, the smaller the space, and the lower the density, the larger the space. Next to that, you have your reverb tone. This is essentially just kind of a preset EQ, whether you want your reverb to be bright, neutral sounding, or dark sounding, and it's going to basically roll off, top end in the dark, balance things out for neutral, roll off the low end and open up the top for your bright, and then adjust in between. The final thing that you have is your high cut pass. So you can actually have it bright, but then roll off, say, at 10K up, so that you can kind of smooth things out or further tweak the reverb. And it's a very cool reverb. It's easily become the most used reverb in my home studio. The cool thing about it is that it's not an emulator. It's its own algorithm. It's a new reverb. It's a new sound, and it's just very detailed, very accurate, and just very natural sounding. So I really enjoy it a lot, and I use it on everything from snare drum to acoustic guitar, even vocals. So just a great overall plugin. Hope the review here has given you a little bit of insight on how this plugin is set up and the parameters and features that it has.
Again, thank you for joining us for our featured software series videos. For more information and for all your pro audio needs, check us out on the web at www.frontendoaudio.com. Thank you.